Howdy train fans, welcome back to the Chattanooga Southern Railroad. So in this session I'm going to be doing a revamp of the L&N Interchange. If you've watched some of my past videos, you saw that I had tried what many of you have used is the pink foam for the base for the railroad. I do not like it. It just doesn't work for me. So I'm a Homasote type of person, as you can see back here and the rest of the layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebuild this, not with Homasote, believe it or not, but with a new product that replaces Homasote. So we'll have to see if that's worthwhile. So let's get busy, okay? All right, so to start the tear down, I'm gonna just kind of remove my clamp here. This was kind of to protect this interchange and trains from just flying off. So taking the clamp off here. I think I'm gonna start down on this end here. And my plan is not to throw these away because I can always use these for the mountains and some other things. So I'm just going to kind of set them up here for now. So here's the product we're going to be using in place of Homasote. It's called Sonopan. It is a soundproofing for walls and ceilings. It is a recycled wood material. It's not quite as dense as Homasote is, but which means it's a little bit lighter. It also has this, these are kind of like indentations to help with the sound deadening for it. But it's green, which I thought was kind of interesting. The reason I'm using this is because this is what Home Depot is carrying in lieu of the Homasote. Homasote, if you buy it from them, you literally have to pay, it's about $43 a sheet. I think it's actually going up to like 48. I'll put something in on the screen here in a second to show you. Lowe's also has it as well, or used to carry it as well. They stopped carrying it. They've got their own product. But I'm going to give this a shot. So supposedly it cuts nice and easily with a razor knife. We're going to test that here in a second. I will warn you, you need to carry this in the vertical like it's sitting right now. If you try to carry it like this in a flat plane, you will snap it. Ask me how I know. So let's give this a shot. All right, so I've set this up in the vertical plane. What I need are basically 6-inch strips because that's what my shelf width is over here. I'll cut it to length in a minute. I know I'm going to need, because this L&N section is right at 7 feet, I'll need 2 6-inch strips off the end here. So I'm going to use basically one of these clicking razor knives, right? Because they say on the website for the product that this works. I'm using a drywall square to make sure I get this nice straight cut here. And I've lined it up at the edge because this end is exactly 6 inches. So So as you can see, got a little bit of fuzziness to it. But, you know, rub with a hand, not bad. Let's see how that looks. Well, it's a good cut. Problem is, it is not 1/2 inch material. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. It is 5/8 inch thick. 5/8. Would you believe that? All right, now I got to figure out what I'm going to do now. So this stuff definitely makes a mess when you cut it. And be forewarned, you will start tracking it everywhere. All right, let me show you what I did here. So I cut the shorter of the two pieces here. This is the break point for the swing down section. So I need to have a natural break there. So you can see, I know the lighting might be a little bit bad, but this iPhone 13 has been pretty impressive. So 5/8 of an inch thick. I didn't account for that when I picked this, but as you can kind of see, gets down here with the light, it's fibrous. It literally does cut with about this little bit less resistance than the Homasote back here. My problem I have now, it does lay quite flat, but as you can see here, I've got a 1/8 inch. Let me get way down here so you can really see it. 1/8 inch difference between the existing and this. And I'm not about to redo this area here or redo this framing at all. Not going to do that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of try to channel out, once I figure out where the alignment's going to go, channel this out here, and then bring it up to this level here. So I'm going to give that a shot and see how well that works. All right, let me show you where I am so far. So I'm was laying out this piece of flex track. I think this turn is just a little too tight. It looks almost like a 15-inch radius curve here going into my first turnout. So what I think I need to do is kind of give this a little relief and bring it down this way. I think what that means is I'm going to have to cut a different piece of flex track for here, because one of the other things I am doing, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but this was originally going to be a 2-track yard. I think I'm going to try and make it a 3-track yard here, or staging area. At least that's where I'm leaning to. But I can say this, it's holding the nails really, really well. It's not as tight as the Homasote, but it's very similar. I was able to hand or thumb or finger push these track nails in. Here, I'll show you. I got one more to do here. You know, so you can put it in the hole and you can literally, oops, get it in the hole. That'll be helpful. And you can literally use your thumb and drive it down like that. So I feel pretty confident that I can at least hold the turnouts that way. Haven't tried a track spike yet to see how well that holds in it, but it's got to be better than the foam. So, okay, I don't see a need to do anything more to this. I'm going to go ahead and screw this. What was this called? Sono something. I haven't even thought about it yet. I almost called it Homasote. Let me. Now it's called Sonopan. So I'm just going to quickly put some screws down here. Pull it down just like I did. All right, I'm going to put 6 in this section here. All right, so after playing with some track lines, I don't know if you see this, pencil doesn't work on this like it did on the Homasote, so I had to shift to a Sharpie. I tried looking at getting 3 tracks in here, but then because we as model railroaders, we want as much trackage as we can get. but it just didn't look right. It was getting too close to the backdrop. It was getting too close to the edge, and I was going to have to put 1 3/4 inches in between the two tracks. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So to make things easy on myself, I'm just going to go back with the original track plan that I had. I like it. It does work. So I've actually drilled up through where I had placed my hole for my switch machine, future switch machine for this turnout. Got this thing repositioned. I've now marked these two lines, which is the outside of this curvature of this track coming from the crossing out to the point side of the turnout. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to relieve this down to about 1/8 of an inch. And I think the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use this same bladed knife, and I'm going to, if I can get it to cut, definitely need a sharp one. I can tell you that right now. And so cut it like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of start to relieve it with the knife here and see how hard it would be to chamfer this up like this, just by pulling up. You can kind of see it's coming up in layers here, just like the Homasote does, but it's just not as dense as the Homasote used to be. So I'm just going to kind of cut into it, kind of chip away at it a little bit. And it does, just like, it starts to explode once it's once you get it out of I don't know what they're using to bond it to each other, to the layers, what the bonding agent is, whether it's water or what. It's coming up, as you can see, it's coming up pretty quick. The trick is going to be, can I get a good even transition? I mean, I don't need to go too far to come up to, but I want it to be gradual enough that it doesn't, my trains aren't like bumping up, because that's going to create an opportunity for the KDs to come undone, couplers to come undone. So I want this to be as smooth a transition as I can get it. So I'm just going to kind of shave layers off as I go. And this might be hard to see on camera. One thing I can tell you is this stuff does make one heck of a mess. And the other thing that I did notice from the manufacturer's website is that there's no formaldehyde or anything. A lot of times when you see a green color, you start to think, hey, it's hey, does it got formaldehyde in it? And no, it does not. The green color is, they've done that for marketing purposes because it's a green product. It's recycled wood fibers that they're using here. So actually, I probably ought to be wearing a mask now I'm thinking about it. Well, let's take a look at that. So again, reusing my piece that I had before. Here we go. I'm going to curve it around. Just kind of slide these rail joiners on just to get it to hold for a second in place. And then I'm going to take a look down. It's not too bad. Still not exactly what I would like, so I probably need just a little bit more. Probably come back to about in here, I think. So I'm going to make a little mark with my Sharpie and make sure that I got a good transition back to about there, and then I should be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide those rail joiners back off here. take that piece back out, and then just kind of keep working back in layers across this. Might be a better way of doing this with, I thought about maybe going and getting my surf foam form, you know, your drywall tool, but as friable as this is, I'm not sure I want, I got a feeling that would just kind of like clog it, based off of what I'm seeing here. Just making sure I got this area well defined. Definitely can see a bump in there. And I can tell you right now, my blade has already gone dull. So let me grab another one of those. That one's gonna go in the garbage. Let's see if we can try another one here. Oh yeah, it's a little better. Yeah, now we're getting down closer to, I'm going to take that out a little bit longer. So, kind of like shaving your face. Although I don't recommend it with this blade. The nice thing about this stuff is I could tell you, just playing with it like this would be good if you know, if you got transitions, you know, if you wanted to cut something, drop a track in to make it look really distressed and old. It would be not too much effort, as you can see here. I definitely recommend a fresh blade, because it's definitely working a lot better than using that dull one that I used to cut the original two pieces with. Yeah, see, it's just keeps coming little by little. And notice as I'm cutting towards me, I'm keeping my hand out of the way just in case, you know, that decides it's gonna want to slip on me, because I've had that happen before too. All right, so I'm out to my mark here. I'm gonna grab my piece of track again. Definitely gonna have to do some vacuuming. Get that fixed. All right, gotta get my rail joiner out there. All right, bend this around. There's one, and no idea where the other one went. How did I lose a rail joiner? Which one of you stole my rail joiner? Okay, that's not right. That's not right at all. All right, well, let's see. I'm holding this down. That looks like a much better transition. I could probably prop this crossing up just a smidge on this outside edge, because I do see a dip in the Homasote here. But I think I've pretty much got it. And keep in mind also, this is going to be inside of a tunnel. If you remember the structure that was here, that tunnel portal was roughly about right here. So I think that's going to work out really, really well. Just like that. All right, let me see if I can go find a rail joiner. All right, so I added a couple more tools to my arsenal. This particular piece of track didn't have any track nail holes in it. So I'm going to kind of create my own here. Apparently that didn't work too well. I thought I'd try it, but I've always used to using an X-Acto knife to create these. I'm going to put one there, put one back here at the tunnel portal, like that. One a little bit further back in here. I won't go too far into this board. Like that. And I'll do some work back in there with some track spikes. But in the meantime, I'm going to grab a pair of pliers. Let's try that again, shall we? Apparently, I didn't do such a good job. There we go. All right. One more here. Like that. And remember, my plan is, famous last words, right? To do this as a snow scene. So, although I don't like to use track nails in general, I am willing to do that here, simply because it's going to be a snow scene, and there's going to be snow in the middle of the rails too. So it should hide those track nails pretty easily. So that looks pretty good. So let me grab a what I would call a car. Let's just grab a Coca-Cola car here, 50-footer. Alright, so I got the pieces put back together where they belong, which makes it really nice because I don't have to cut anything again. And then I've set my square to the edge to make sure that I've got this first track. I'm setting it up just right. I'm just going to go right back into the original holes. Just go down each one. Definitely got to get some more light over here. There we go. All right. Now that I've got that jacked in place, I'm just going to lay that there. I'm going to come through and go ahead and set all these. Oops, pushed that one a little too far. For the reason I don't like track nails, you can end up setting the nail way too far. The nice thing about this is that I don't have to do all the holes I did before just to try to get this thing to set. And I like to just rub my finger down here until I hit a nail head. There we go, there's first track set. I don't know about you, but that green kind of reminds me of the old days when you had the grass mat that you used to staple down to the plywood. All right, so what I need to do now is I need to do this. Let's see. Need to do some measuring here. Find my tape measure again. Need to make sure that I'll be 2 inches in. So somewhere about there. Actually, probably what I ought to do, let's make this really easy on myself. I'm going to undo that. Pick this up, set it up here so I get some room to do this. And I'm just going to use the Tom Silva method, if you've ever watched This Old House, was a good way of, you hold the tape where you want it, and you can run it down like that. Now I'll use the square to really make it tight. All right, I'll continue on with that. Okay, so the refurb on the L&N interchange is done. So I've got all my track in and laid. Looks nice and level and straight. I've been testing it with the car. Runs pretty smooth. Like that. All right, I'm pretty happy with it, considering that Homasote is becoming less and less viable. And the guy at Home Depot told me that this is their product going forward. So if you're interested, I'm going to give it a thumbs up for a product. And I'll probably be using it going down the line. All right, here we go. Maiden voyage. Got a train, you can kind of see it through the backdrop over there. About to come through the tunnel and run on the upgraded L&N Interchange. There's the light. Looks like we got some good conductivity. And I seem to have lost the headlight for some reason. Interesting. There it is, it's back. Alright. That looks good to there. I might have to clean this track up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back it up. Beyond the switch points. Let's bring her forward up the passing siding. Appears to be running quite smoothly, which is what I want. So if you will, just use your imagination to see this as a snow scene. And there you go. Well, there you have it, folks. Updated L&N Interchange yard with the new product, the Sonopan, which is the modern day replacement for the Homasote. Works, I'd say, pretty well compared to at least my take on using foam and gluing track down. So with that, we'll see you on down the tracks. Bye.